really glad you asked this question, right? So about is like, are these AI tools going to take away jobs? Is it going to, is it going to do stuff for us to the point where we no longer need marketers? So, immediately, like when I heard this question, a thought occurred to me, like if you heard like what Jassy from Amazon had said pretty recently, saying like AI is coming for our jobs, right? And I think that that's right. I think we would be living in a fantasy world if we didn't recognize that the world around us is changing because of this amazing technology, right? But the distinction that I would draw here, right, is that you can take a different perspective versus a big company like Amazon and Google and Microsoft, which have all announced layoffs that are linked to AI, versus a small business. If you look at the trend right now, if you look at Reddit, you look at like what Silicon Valley leaders are saying, what they're preaching right now is leaner teams. Can we take, if we were to start a project that initially, back, a few years ago would take 50 people, can we do it with 10 people? But we're going to enable these 10 people with AI tools to create the effect of 50 people, right? And we're going to take senior engineers, we're going to give them cursor, and then we're going to have them do the jobs of like 5 senior engineers, right? And I think like these lessons are really familiar to small businesses, right? Like small businesses operate with skeleton crews. Small businesses operate on the fundamental principle, more is, less is more, right? Like, because you always have to wear lots and lots of hats. I've been at startups before. You've been at like, lots of startups. You know that there's nobody who just does one thing at a startup, right? And I think like big companies are learning those lessons that small companies have known for a long time. And I think that's where you're seeing the biggest effect, right? So from my perspective, I don't in any way want to minimize the effect, the real effect that this may be having on small businesses and big businesses alike. But I think that from a small business, we might be getting like the better end of this, right? Because essentially what it's doing, it's allowing small business, it's allowing a small team that had one marketer to be able to compete with the marketing team at Google or Microsoft, right? So I take a slightly more optimistic perspective on this.
Do you see there being new opportunities and jobs being created by it as well?